move in.
With your mouth. Why does she sound so sexual when she does that?
She's an American. To
Hi.
be fair, if it was a Welsh person going, recordings in progress.
Bit Welsh.
I would love that. Oh dear. It's all fun and games until the Welsh
Bit
comes
Welsh,
out.
Kelly.
Rydyn ni'n recordio'r podcast heno.
Can you do the intro in Welsh?
Yeah, actually, that
probably
would
not.
be sick.
I don't actually know what women's physique in Welsh would be.
We'll just say it in English then.
Good evening and welcome to the WPD podcast. Croeso, all the way from Wales.
Love it.
As you can see, I am not WPD and I'm not a pro.
But
welcome back to episode 22 of the WPD podcast. We have special guest Kelly with us. We've got some stuff and things to talk about on body image and some of the sort of more drug-related issues that Kelly may be able to shed a different perspective on. So yeah, we've got a few questions, we've got a few things. I've had 3 hours sleep. I'm probably going to sit here and dribble to myself and let these two do the energy. I've also got Ruby.
Ruby snoozing, Manu snoozing, Dan snoozing.
I'm missing my cats here, aren't I?
You are.
All 10 of them.
5. Yeah.
Soon to be 10, probably.
5 cats, 1 kid, 1 boyfriend.
I love it. How did
We've
you
got
end up
more
with
sofas than we've got people at the moment.
Sorry, I can't say no. That's how I've ended up with 5 cats. So when people turn up on my doorstep, like my boyfriend says, like when it's there, you can't say no to this space.
You can't know with the kittens, can you? Even with puppies, I probably couldn't say no.
No.
Yeah, I fully appreciate that.
When's your birthday again?
For you, Kelly's?
Why are you getting me a cat? June the 15th. I am 40 this year.
40?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Kelly. You don't look
I made it.
Yeah. Woo woo!
Older than me.
Yeah.
That's
You're already
dangerous.
40 though, aren't you? Didn't somebody suggest you were already 40?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they decided to judge mine and Dan's relationship. The opinion we never asked for.
Yeah. Fucking hell. People these days, eh? Sticking their 2 fingers in. It's nothing to do with
Who
them.
are Mrs.
Hey!
The lesbian.
Oh, fucking hell.
What have I tuned into? I'm so innocent.
I'm basically a virgin. Anyway, so last week we had a couple of really interesting questions about like muscularity and whether like going out on dates or speaking to people, you try and like dull it down a little bit. I know quite a few people were quite like invested in our answers in those questions. So it came from one of my clients and she essentially said like, if you're in an area where, you know, there's going to be loads of people or you're in like social events, how do we approach those events? And like, what do we do if someone constantly keeps bringing up the fact that we're more muscular than the average person? I don't know whether you've ever been in that situation, Kelly.
I mean, all the time.
I mean, if like, admittedly, when I first met you, Kelly, and obviously it was at the show last year, and I was like, oh, I said to Ro, what category are you in? And Ro was like, oh, wellness. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And then the minute you came on stage, I was like, fuck me, I was not expecting that. Like, you're like a deer, like galloping on stage. It was the best
Sassy cat.
ever. Like, yeah, it was amazing. And I wasn't, and I think that's the best thing about wellness is sometimes like, because you don't really see it up top, but the minute like someone's on stage or whatever, like bosh, I was like, fucking hell, Kelly is a legend. That's what I came for.
Sassy cat, as Mana calls me. Could you hear that in the crowd?
Yeah, I did actually, to be fair. I did hear that.
I think you get different judgment in a way. I think people still look at you. I think especially if you've competed, like I found recently, because I've had such a large time out, that when you're walking back in the gym, they're literally looking at you like, yeah, there's no way this bird's competed.
Yeah.
Like she can't even lift a kilo plate right now.
Yeah, just they're like, oh, I was like, she's competed. All right.
Who is she?
But yeah, like I think, like we said last time, Ro, is like just be yourself, and it's like trying to learn to embrace like your femininity as you are as an individual. Like, what did you say, Ro, when you were like in London about
Yeah,
being able to dress way and stuff like that?
fashionista. Now I wear baggies and jumpers that cover everything.
Yeah,
I don't know whether that. I mean, to start off with, it's butt fuck cold at the moment, so I've got all of the layers on all of the time, especially with dieting. But yeah, I don't think I'm covering up because I feel self-conscious about being big. Because
Mm.
over the summer I was quite happy in shorts and a vest top. So I think it is
Yeah.
just cold. But it's
It's just cold, really.
sometimes I think it's difficult to see the line where, being warm stops and covering up because you're self-conscious starts. And I think
Yeah,
it's easy to slip into the habit of just covering up because it gets less comments and
yeah.
less people looking at you or saying something can,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So I had
easier.
a couple ladies message in and be like, they've really struggled with trying to feel, I guess some maybe struggle to feel sexy when they're muscular. Like personally, like I know it's something I've really struggled with, like being of feeling sexy because I'm bigger and more muscular. I don't know. I mean, I've never been a sexy person per se, but like it's I guess a lot of women are thinking, oh, I'm not the only one feeling like that. Because I had a couple of women come to me and be like, since obviously Ro and you were talking about it, it's made me feel like I'm not alone, which is really important because like everyone thinks about this kind of thing and thinks, oh, maybe I'm not really sexy. Like I guess it's a bit different being like a lesbian, but like in like a heterosexual relationship, I guess being more muscular women and might make you feel less sexy. I don't know. Like, I can't really talk on it because I'm a gay, but
You can still it's still a relationship and you're still a
I'm a
woman.
gay.
yeah, but
It's like you're making it sound like you're the only one in the village. I don't know if that's a muscular thing because I think any kind of like I don't feel sexy
yeah,
and I'm not a muscular person, but that's a lot to do with what I've been through.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But when I think about it, I don't know if I ever have. Like
it's a
even
weird thing.
when you're like on stage, I know you portray like a totally different persona, and I'm like Sasha Fierce. I'm not sure what happens when I go on stage.
Sassy cat.
I love
um,
it.
but yeah, it's not like that always.
Yeah, yeah,
It's for me, I mean, this off season was the biggest I've got, and it's definitely the most comfortable I've felt in my skin. But I think a lot of that's to do with the monster sat over there. Because
Manu, do you mean
it's,
Manu?
yeah, Manu. It's Manu.
bless
Um,
him.
but it's
That's a
it's
huge
difficult
thing.
to feel big when the person you're with is so much bigger.
Yeah,
So, yeah, but that doesn't really help people that struggle with it because, like, I'm pretty sure most people won't want to dump their boyfriend to then find a bigger, muscular.
yeah,
The new Tinder profile is
yeah,
like boyfriend needs to be bigger.
yeah. What about you, Kelly? Like with your other half, like does he and has he always supported your career in like bodybuilding and wellness and stuff like that?
He he does jujitsu. He used to do bodybuilding with me.
Yeah,
Like he appreciates the commitment. And like he said, he'd never really seen me in makeup or like the stage aspect or all of the posing. He kind of saw like the background of it, where you're in the house and you're doing your check-ins. But he like the first time he ever really got to saw the whole package was when he saw me on Two Bros. And he was just like, he said, I looked and I was like, shit. He probably thought he was being catfished, to be fair. Like,
oh.
but yeah, he has been so supportive. And I think that's really important, especially like with body image, because if I don't love what I see when I look in the mirror and I'm nude, and like you have to have somebody that will love you regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like we all have our different forms of sexiness, don't we? Like what I might like in someone, you might like Kelly or Ro, you might not like in someone, you know? So I think it is just all stemming down to being comfortable in your own skin, like you said, Kelly. And I think it's very important that, you know, social media will always have an impact on perfection or whatever the hell we class as perfection. But I think what it all does. Sorry, go ahead.
It was just Dan added something in. What was it he said? If your partner is making you feel insecure about your body, then that's a them problem, not a you problem, and you should probably look to be with a different person.
I agree.
If that's a problem, say from a guy's perspective, if your partner has a lot of muscle and you see that as a problem, you're not in love with the person. You're clearly it was a body image. Now the body image has changed. Say they started out and they weren't a bodybuilder, they become a bodybuilder. Then you love the person whatever shape and form they're in anyway. And if there's that love, then fuck me, like that's an insecurity in themselves. Maybe that lazy cunt should go to the gym.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. But yeah, I mean, I went on a video on Facebook yesterday of like obviously a female bodybuilder and like a before picture from like years ago, and then obviously she must have been like mid-40s. Obviously, like yeah, she's used PEDs, they've had some effect on like her face and stuff like that. And then like 95% of the comments were just these blokes that were like, oh, she looked so much prettier before, blah blah. And I like commented, do you think she did this for your external validation? No, she was very aware of what she did, what she was doing at the time when she involved PEDs in her career. Like half the people on that post are not nearly as committed, dedicated, or as motivated as this amazing woman, yet no one has anything good to say about it. Like she's comfortable in her own skin now doing what she loves to do. So in a way, like, you know, she feels sexy because she has muscle. Like it's again coming back around to being comfortable in your own skin and not really giving two fucks about what other people think. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think about social media? So everybody's entitled to their opinion, and you can look at a picture and think, oh, and I'm not talking about something that's muscular, just in general, you think, oh my God, that person looks rough, or God, that person has got makeup on. But for me, going that extra mile to put your thoughts into words so that person reads it, that's the bit that sucks for me. Like I will always have an opinion, and yes, I out some of my opinions, but I don't tend to out them if they're about people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's odd though, isn't it? That going back to that post you were talking about, Sarah, that it's unfortunate rather than odd that a lot of the time a woman's achievements are judged on how attractive she is with that achievement rather than the achievement itself.
For sure.
You know, it's all these comments of, oh, she looks like a man. She's just won Miss Olympia. Like,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, she's an athlete.
Exactly. But yeah, there are many women that shouldn't feel alone in the way that they feel, for sure. Like that's why we've created this community that we're trying to create, is because we want other women to feel as strong and as empowered as we should be, even if you don't feel that you should be empowered and beautiful, you're still massive and you're still awesome. Like I literally ended the comment with, she's badass because she's got muscle, and that's like exactly what she should be seen as some badass strong woman. Like, and again, like that's why we're doing what we're doing, is to create this community where women feel happy, strong, and can embrace who they are instead of just feel like an outcast all the time. Because I know probably all three of us have felt like an outcast at some point, and like probably still do to some extent every day. So, you know, this is why we're doing what we're doing with seminars and stuff like that, is to create a safe space for women to feel like they should be who they are instead of hiding all the time.
A psychologically safe space.
Exactly. We love psychological safe spaces. Exactly.
Speaking of which, do we want to talk about the psychological safe space?
Yeah, let's just go for it. Have we told Kelly yet about what the movements forward?
Can't remember.
Probably not.
Our voice notes, mate, are about 20 minutes.
I know. Like, yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay, so we've confirmed a venue for said seminar.
Yes.
It's going to be going down on March 25th at Kingdom. Where is Kingdom?
Kingdom is in Birmingham.
Kingdom the big gym. Birmingham. Yeah, and that's what's going to be happening. It'll be 12 till 4.
Yes.
Is that what we discussed?
12 till 4.
And we're just basically, obviously it's early days, we're going to put out a little bit more information, but that's the plan as it stands. We're going to be doing a bit of a Q&A, bit of some posing bits, bit of just a chitty chat, that kind of thing. I'm trying to sort out some bits and bobs that we can give away to the girls that come, that in the motion that we're going to try and get some merchandise done as well. So yeah, really exciting stuff going. But that's where it's going to be. Obviously, like I said, any updates will be popped on the page and popped on our own personal pages as well. So that's what's going to happen. It's exciting. It's exciting. And we're creating that psychological safe space, like you said, Kelly.
The best space.
The best space. So tell us a bit about what you've experienced with body image.
Yeah.
Like, tell us a little bit about your story and how you are who you are today.
So if you don't follow me on Instagram,
Do it now.
I haven't got many followers because I don't buy mine. Here we go. No, so basically I had my boobs done probably in 2009 because I had my son at 18. They were like spaniels years. Anybody that's had a kid will know they'll never ever be the same again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had implants, and then in 2020 I'd planned to have them replaced, and we went into lockdown.
Oh, Jesus.
My mum was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2020, and the type of breast cancer she had, she basically they said, and you know, you're likely, or it can be likely, that it's genetic. So my mum was tested. It was like an 18-month process for this testing. It's not easy. And it came back that my mum's got BRCA1 defect. Now, I don't know if you know what BRCA1 is, but everybody's got it. And I think that's where the misinformation is. But BRCA is just BR breast, CA cancer. There's like 1 and 2. And it's, in essence, a cancer suppressing gene that it's like a doorman that says to cancer, "Nah, mate, you're not coming in." And for whatever reason, my doorman is absolutely shit. And he's just like, "Yeah, come in, mate."
Yeah.
Like, let's do
We're
all of
having a
the
party.
You're welcome.
Bring the
Come
Sambuca.
in. Yeah. So yeah, for some reason I've just got a shit doorman. So they said to me, like, you can have annual MRIs, mammograms, or you can have surgery.
Can we just rewind
yeah.
to exactly percentage-wise how shit your doorman was? Because I think that's a big crux on the deciding factor behind what you chose to do.
Yeah, so my shit doorman had a 95% chance of letting breast cancer people in.
That's mad.
So that's 5% chance of not.
Jeez. So when you do get a genetic counsellor that gives you the news, you don't just get somebody going, "Hi, yeah, 95%, all the best."
You got shit doorman.
You're on your own. Yeah. I'd love if they referenced it as a doorman. I think that would be so much better. So it was a case that he actually said to me, you know, at 95%, there's 8 women maternal side that's had breast cancer. My grandmother was 38 when she died. And he said, like, for you, it's more when, not if.
Yeah.
So the mammogram missed my mum's breast cancer. I was like, I'm not spending the rest of my life annually waiting. They were like, you know, they can find it early. I was like, nah. And the weird thing is, like, you have your breast removed, but they said to me, like, if you keep your nipples, that leaves you with like 25% chance because there's still
as much as that.
Yeah.
25. Wow, I didn't realize. Is that like, this sounds really weird question, but that is it dependent on like the size of the nipple, or is it just regardless? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
so if you've got flying sauce in it,
25% is this big.
Haribo.
Yeah. But like, is that like a thing? Like,
or lips.
Or is it just
it's literally just because obviously there's different types of breast cancer, and you can get like ductal, you can actually get it in the nipple. So I was like, right, what is it if we just take the lot?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind I've kept my lymph nodes, they were like 5%. Yeah, no brainer for me. And like the decision to have the surgery was a no brainer. And I haven't struggled with that decision. Like, that has never been an issue for me, even when I woke up. The drugs probably had a lot to do with that, but like, it was
your voice messages were fucking brilliant.
You should see the messages I sent.
I wish we could.
I think you sent me a screenshot.
It made no sense.
Oh, dear.
It was just vowels. Oromorph. Tell you, it's like the dream.
It was like the Welshest Welsh ever.
I love it.
Oh, that's all
Yeah.
consonants, isn't it, rather than vowels?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, how are you doing now? Like, what's your percentages now, and how are you feeling about it all?
So I would like to say that, I mean, obviously I'm 5% breast cancer. So in actual fact, you or Mom has probably got more chance than me now, which is like insanely, like, I'm so grateful for that. I know that sounds awful for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the unfortunate is that obviously there's ovarian cancer. That's like, I think that's up to 70%. So I'm under a trial to have my tubes removed. Because I
Fallopian,
didn't really
for the
want
record.
fallopian tubes. What other tubes are there, mate?
Well, you've got
There's a
like
one,
loads of
what
tubes
tubes?
in your
What,
body.
my esophageal tubes? My anal tubes?
I love it. We're having Welsh in like just the sound of Welsh when you say anal tubes is just
Anal tubes. Or eyes and ears. My
Oh,
ear.
I love it. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and
My dyslexia
obviously
is wigging
skin
out about how
and
ears are spelt with a Y.
Ears. What?
You said years.
They are. It is with the Y in Wales. Have you never seen our spelling? It's special.
I love it.
It actually looks like something I used to write in primary school.
That doesn't
You are
surprise me.
basically Welsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's
Sorry,
obviously
anyway.
chance of skin cancer, so no sunbeds for me. And actually,
So-
they don't know altogether what it's linked to. I mean, my uncle died at 42 of esophageal. It's crazy. I don't think people realize if you sit down and work out your family tree, which they ask you to do as part of
Yeah.
the genetic questionnaire, along with a score between 1 and 10, where you think you are more likely to have cancer.
Oh, the greatest scale. How depressing is
I
that?
was like, yeah, honestly, it's like, are you scared? It's so weird, the stuff that they ask.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am. I think we're up to 15 weeks post-op.
God, that's flown by, Cal. Feels like yesterday you had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much flown. I think actually, since I've been back in the gym over the last 6 weeks, it's flown.
Yeah.
As soon as you've been
Like, I
back in the gym,
can't.
I've sort of watched your mood slowly. I mean, there's been other factors, but it's
Oh, I tell you, if I tell you, so Babs, my coach, who literally I adore as a friend, as a coach, she's like great. I had a discussion with her the week that I signed up, and I was like, my mood is so bad. I can't get myself out of this hole. I'm thinking about going to my GP and maybe looking at taking meds. And she's like, look, let's just get back on plan for like 2 weeks.
It's the cat behind you. Love it.
Oh no. So this is our soul cat, as we call him. He'll probably
Oh.
tap me. Not sure where Lara is. Yeah, so she's like, let's just get back on plan. And mate, I can't tell you what that did. Like, it probably worked quicker than any, like, I've been on meds before and it worked so much quicker than anything I could have taken.
Yeah.
I think it's that importance of routine and familiarity, and just like because when I suffered with depression, literally the routine of the gym was the only thing that kept me ticking along, and eventually I got out of it. But it's so important to have that routine and structure to your mood, especially if that is something that obviously boosts your mood.
For sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong, at the start, I hated it. I think I cried the second week halfway through my session because you're almost grieving what you could do previously. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm in this commercial gym and I can't even lift. I had somebody come up to ask me, do you want me to show you how to use your equipment? I was like, I look that new. I was like, I'm impressed.
Yeah. You should just go back in like in a few months' time, be like, bitch, look at me now.
I'm WPD now.
Look at me go.
Look at me go. In all fairness, I've actually changed back to my bodybuilding gym now because
Oh, nice.
it's just like a different environment, isn't it?
Yeah, you find with like
Less
independent
judged.
gyms, yeah, for sure. Like speaking to a couple ladies, like they've been like, you know what, like I'm just gonna move to an independent gym because I feel way less judged. Like one of my clients has moved to SUPS and she used to be at another gym, and she said, oh, I didn't come here because like everyone's a little bit bigger. Like, and I said, you'll find that the bigger guys are the more experienced and they wouldn't hurt a fly even if you throw it at them. Do you know what I mean? Like with Connor, he's a big guy. He's, you know, if you saw him in the street, you'd be like, oh, but really he's actually the most giving person that I think I've ever met. Do you know what I mean? Like he will bend over backwards to provide you with as much information as you need. Or if you were in a bad place, he's the kind of person that if I went to him and said, oh, Connor, I need 200 quid, he would give it to me. Much like Tom, much like any of my close family,
Will you
like
give
family
anybody
and friends.
200 quid?
I'll ask.
Mana, do you want 200 quid?
Yeah.
Dan?
Sorry, I'm just watching this.
Ruby has a way with life, doesn't she?
Yeah.
They've
She's
made it onto
lovely.
the sofa. The new sofa.
But yeah, and I think the independent bodybuilding gyms just provide that atmosphere where you don't feel like you're getting judged.
Absolutely.
Even though people think we're monsters, we're actually not. We're just
Oh,
insecure.
I was a monster today.
Wait, I can imagine you were, to be fair.
But mate, have you seen your back?
Yeah,
no,
to be
It's
fair,
like a
you're
Teenage
that.
Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I mean, like,
It's like insane. Like watching you on the cross train the other day, and I was like, her lats are literally like
they're literally bouncing.
bouncing.
I was going to bring that up, Cal, and I was
My
like, no.
boobs used to do that.
my boobs don't do that, but apparently my
Mate, they
lats
don't
do.
bounce at all now. I'm like 18-year-old Barbie now.
Yeah. So coming back to the boob thing.
Yeah.
So how do you look different? If you don't mind me asking, how do you look different compared to what you previously looked like? Like, how do you feel in yourself regarding those changes?
So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it's like if you ever followed me, but when they took the dressing off the first time and I looked down and I saw like it looked like a hack job.
Yeah.
Because it's not pretty, it's not the cosmetic, beautiful little scars that you expect to see. And the biggest, weirdest thing, literally not seeing nipples.
Mm.
And
I
that's
think
why I
it's
call
'cause
them Barbie boobs.
I don't think I've seen quite so much of one of my friend's boobs as I have yours. And I have one of my friends when we were growing up, she was just like, way.
You're
Like,
welcome.
yeah,
Very welcome.
yeah, but it's like in my WhatsApps, just like, oh, it's Kelly's boobs again.
Because
Here they come.
how much
Just call me KBT, Kelly Big Tits.
Kelly Barbie tits.
Barbie Tits. I'm going to change my Instagram.
Yeah, to the new.
I'll just, people are starting. Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, I get enough like porn stars liking my stories now.
Oh, that's a big thing on Instagram at the moment. It's just these porn stars everywhere. You're not getting that, Ro?
No.
I think it must be me and you, Sarah, because I've had this conversation. Like everyone else is like, it's not happening to me.
Nah, me and you,
Might
mate.
not have noticed, Mana, but I bet if you look,
Probably not. To be honest, there's not much I have noticed in the last couple of days, other than my lack of sleep.
I won't miss that.
Yeah.
Yes, because Kelly, you were in the ambulance service, weren't you?
Yeah.
How was that?
I finished so I've been in the ambulance control for 18 years. So I've
18
worked.
years?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So I've done 18 years of shift. So if people say they're too knackered to do prep, like,
oh no. Yeah, mate. My hat's off to both of you, completely off. Like what you have done.
Like you don't, if it was the 12 hours of like a normal shift, it'd be good, but you are 12 hours of having to be switched on when you're not at capacity because you haven't slept the night before. That's actually how me and Mana connected.
Yeah.
Because just mutual love of our job.
Yeah.
Bringing you all together. Love it.
Yeah. Is it? Dan said to me today in the gym, I was like, oh, I'm so tired. He was like, oh, just don't tell yourself that. And you'll be fine. I'm like, no. I've had 3 hours sleep since 12:30 yesterday. It's now like 3:00. Nah. Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
You get past it though, don't you? You get to this point where you're just past being knackered and you're just like walking around like a zombie.
Yeah. And like, when was I last on nights? I came off nights Saturday, and I was so tired. I was so tired. I wasn't going to train, and then I did train, and that was fine. And yeah, we had a nice evening, and then went to bed at like quite reasonable, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11:30, bang, wide awake. That was
Oh,
me for like 45 minutes, just awake, can't go back to sleep because your circadian rhythm's so messed up that you're just like, oh, you've had a nap. Oh, okay, let's do this now. What we
My
doing?
favorite
Oh, we're
is when you
working.
see,
No.
sorry, my favorite is when you see if you work shifts, it reduces your life expectancy. If you work nights, it reduces your life expectancy. And then I'm like, I've got a defect. I'm just fucked.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get out of this job.
So are you out of the service now, Kel?
I will be at the 24th of this month. Like, it was tough. I cried.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's a long time. It's a lot of
Your
Christmases.
adult life.
Like, you know, my son, and I miss a lot of his Christmases, birthdays, New Year's, you know. Define adult. I don't know if I'm there yet. But
So
yeah, it's but I think I kind of feel like I genuinely think I'm having a midlife crisis. But I'm at that point where I think since my surgery, I've decided if things don't serve me, if people bring me negativity, I have to cut them out, even if they're family. And yeah, my job was just something that just wasn't giving me the joy, and I just didn't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, and that's absolutely something that we've run home. And I speak to a lot of people about is if no matter whether they're blood or not, like if they're there making you feel like shit, then just cut them out of your life. Something Rachel Daniels said to us is, you know, she was like, I don't care whether, you know, they're my friend, they're my family, but whoever she needed to cut out at the time, because she made it very clear, she was very open and honest that she's cut people out of her life that she loved completely to high heaven and hell, like
100%.
but the minute they started affecting her career in bodybuilding, she was like, I'm afraid I have to let you go. And I completely agree with that. If there's someone that's affecting how you're feeling about yourself or just how you're feeling in general, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I have a slightly different opinion to that because
Yeah.
I don't know how I would do that. Like
Really?
I don't know how that would look or how I would. Yeah, I can't fathom cutting somebody out of my life like that. Family, I'm
Really?
talking about, not necessarily friends. That's different, but
Yeah.
family.
I think when I say cutting out, I think I just don't make an effort anymore with regards to
I'm the same,
contacting
Kelly.
them.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to contact me, and I'll be polite back, but 9 times out of 10, if you cut them off,
It's like
you can always move away.
Just go to Wales.
Yeah.
With Kelly.
Yeah, come and live with me. Not gonna lie, right? When the houses were for sale on my street, I was like, "Man, come and live with me."
Oh,
because like my mortgage is like 680 for a 4
If
bed
I hadn't met
detached
Dan,
here.
it was a serious consideration. There were jobs in the Welsh Control that I was like, But then I think then there was also the trip to Port Talbot where I got called a tranny, and I was like, never going back to Wales ever again.
Yeah.
Was it Kelly?
That's not
in an old lady costume, like Romana looks like a tranny, and
it was actually quite a young blonde woman.
Oh,
yeah.
You were really upset that day, though.
On top of that, I had Little Miss Carly Pierce announce to the whole fucking car park that I had my nipples pierced. So it was quite a traumatic day.
You have your nipples pierced?
And fucking pretty sure certain ex-coach wanted to try and chat to me at one point. I was just like, walked away.
Oh, what a day.
Do you know that I actually found stick-on nipples? I sent them to Manus. You can buy stick-on nipples that have got piercings, like just stick on. But can you imagine wearing them to the gym and someone was like, "Whose nipples that?"
You so know
handing
it would like
handing it in at reception
here or here. You'd be in the hack squad,
in the lost and found,
right in the middle of your head. Just walk up and go, "Hiya, has somebody dropped in a nipple?" I dropped one.
Imagine.
Can I just say, if that's gonna happen to anyone, like it would be me.
It really would, wouldn't it, Cal?
Yeah.
Has anyone dropped in a nipple?
I don't know. Actually, I lose things more than you.
Yeah. You're not going to lose your nips, though, I hope.
No, that would be a bad day.
That
A really bad day.
That'll be
Oh,
on 1
dear.
hour's sleep.
That's like
Yeah.
the epitome of clumsiness. I'm so clumsy, I've mislaid my nipples.
That's like, like people say I dropped a bollock and be like, dropped a nip.
Yeah.
It's the new saying.
It's the new in thing. Dear me. But like prior to having like surgery and like genetic like testing and stuff, did you ever like, I know there's a very important thing about like touching your chest and making sure there's no lumps or anything. Did you do that before, or were you completely like, no?
I've always been breast aware, and I think
Yeah.
it's because like my grandmother, so my mum was 6 when her mum died. Like she was 38, secondary breast cancer. So I think my mum lived her whole life expecting to get breast cancer. Didn't
Yeah.
ever think about the genetic side. I don't think anybody does, to be honest with you.
No. It's
And
something my
then,
mum said to me because
yeah, you don't think about it.
she had breast cancer back in, I was the first year of uni, so 2005. But they caught it on a mammogram when it was so small they had to insert a wire into her breast under X-ray to locate it for the surgeons to be able to remove.
Wow.
Yeah.
And talking about you, she was like, "Oh, you should probably have some genetic testing. I think mine." And I'm like,
But the interesting thing is they wouldn't test you. So when I went through my family history, although I had 8 women on my maternal side, they told me I was at moderate risk of having this defect.
Wow.
But they said because my mum had a history, a personal history, that they would test her first, and that's how I was tested. But yeah, it's really important. And actually, that is another factor as to why my mum's breast cancer was found. She had a mammogram in April, found the lump herself in June.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So the mammogram missed it. But another factor for me having the surgery was because I became absolutely obsessed with checking myself. Like, I mean, there is normal and then there's like borderline. I'd be in my armpits. It was, I remember talking to you, Marna. It was awful.
Yeah.
And what people like I didn't realize, right, until you have all your breast tissue removed, you don't realize where your breast tissue goes. Like it's under your armpits. What you think was a lat, it's actually a boob. So like where it's all been removed, like it's all across your chest. And the interesting thing is, I used to have behind the muscle implants, and I always thought, oh, I've got really good chest muscles here, but in actual fact it's the implant pushing through. So like when I look at some of these like bodybuilders, I'm like, oh my god, they've got really good muscles, but when you remove that, you're pretty flat, weedy up there. Bless you.
Well, I'd like you to know, Kelly, that I don't have any implants. I just have the pecs.
I mean, well, I
can't remove these
set of
puppies.
I have the implants. Mine are over the muscle. I think working in the NHS, I don't know. There's lots of toilet doors that have posters in hospitals, in the ambulance service control, in stations. It's everywhere. That and checking your poop as well for blood. So I've always been quite breast aware, but I also had a lump when I was 15. It was called a fibroadenoma, also known as a breast mouse, which was completely uncancerous, completely benign, but caused me quite a lot of pain. So I had that removed when I was 15. So having felt a lump, obviously that was prior to implants. I kind of know what it feels like to have abnormal tissue. What I would say, if you have over the muscle implants, it is really important that you move that implant out the way and actually check the breast tissue and under the implant. It sounds a bit freaky, but it is actually quite easy to like push it over here, and then you can have a good old feel this way, and then push it that way, have a good old feel there. So it is possible with implants to check. Obviously, there is a higher risk that you won't be able to feel it. Not wanting to freak anybody out, but it is important.
Is there like, compared to like over implants and under implants, do each have does one have a higher risk of something, or like how does it work? Because I don't have implants and I don't really plan to, but is there like,
do you mean as in breast cancer or risk to rupturing, or I mean, obviously you've got less protection behind the muscle.
Yeah. Like, is there
I'd
like a more
say
preferred one to have?
I'm pretty sure that when I go to get my implants replaced, because they obviously have a shelf life.
You have to replace him. This is all so new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
you got to hand them back, refund.
yeah, yeah.
I
Slight
asked for
hire
mine.
purchase. No, I'm pretty sure when I go and speak to I would be concerned if with my what I do as in a bodybuilder, I would be really concerned if a consultant or a surgeon recommended under the muscle to me, because it would
They
ruin the
move.
aesthetic of my look to start off with. But
Mm.
also it's something Kelly and I were talking about not so long ago, that we didn't realize that the instances of rupture when you train chest of your implants is quite high. I'm pretty sure I've got a mild rupture in one of them, because the basically it feels like a bag inside your breast, because it's a bag of silicone, and there's
Mm.
like a ripple in it, which I'm pretty sure is a rupture. But currently, no symptoms, no pain, no reddening, no hotness. You can't even see. You can feel that it's a bit different, but you can't see that there's anything there. Maybe when I'm dieted down, because you do get puckering when you
I've
diet
actually
down.
got that. I've got a lot of puckering in my breast. So I say Barbie boobs, they're not as smooth because they like, you love that, don't you?
I love it. Yeah.
So they removed the fat, the tissue, and then they wrapped my implant for protection in pig membrane, where they removed the DNA of the pig. So yeah, really clever. In my head, I just imagined like a hairy,
Haggis.
like pig
Haggis.
belly.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, but yeah, so that's what they have to put something to protect you, because you can literally feel
Haggis
like there's
Barbie boobs.
haggis Barbie boobs.
Mm.
I tried
Okay.
haggis and then I read what was in it and I wanted to die.
Oh, I love haggis. I love haggis.
I've never had it,
Ugh,
to be honest. Never
it's
had
Very
it.
like
good.
sheep gut or something it's wrapped in.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
that's
stomach?
what. Yeah,
It looks like a
Yeah.
ball bag.
yeah.
Ooh.
Tastes very good. Not like a ball bag.
Not like a ball bag at
Haggis
all.
neeps and tats. I think I have
I'm
something like
not
that.
tatties. Almost like
Mm.
titties.
Oh, okay then. So,
Tatties and titties. That's the
so
episode.
as like if I was like a young lady wanting to have breast implants, what would you recommend people be aware of if they were thinking about getting them?
The cost.
Are
Yeah,
they expensive?
the fact that they will need to be replaced at some point, which is something.
What is the life of them?
Recovery. 10 years they recommend, but I mean,
I think I got 15 in my head.
it depends what you've got. I've got
Yeah,
memory gel. So when it breaks,
I
it
remember.
just goes like jelly. But
I've
I
got
think my
the
first was five
card
and a half
somewhere.
grand, my first ever one. And that was with a slight uplift,
Mm. Mine was about that because I had an uplift as well.
like a half,
That
is it a donut lift I had? Where they're like,
I had a periareola.
yeah,
So,
same, like purse strings.
yeah, so they basically cut
So
around the
like
nipple.
they cut around your nipple and then pull the skin tight and then cut it off.
This is really interesting, to be fair. I didn't know so much went into
And you
boobs.
thought you were a boob expert. Turns
Yeah,
out,
I did.
Yeah,
no,
Turns out I
Sarah.
do.
yeah. And I mean, recovery wise, I was told no sweating or exercising for 6 weeks.
Ooh, that's intense. No sweating.
Yeah,
It's
this is
What if you?
scarred.
healing.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
If it's
Okay.
I
behind
think
the
I did.
muscle, it's even more ropey. Like it
Yeah.
took ages behind the muscle.
Really?
And that's why my surgery was so rough this time, because they had to take it from behind, repair the chest muscle, then remove everything, and then have reconstruction. So in essence, it was 3 surgeries.
Yeah. So, I forgot what I was going to say. So, Kel, sorry, can you train chest? Obviously, is it too soon to even think about training chest?
So I think the closest I get is like shoulder incline,
Yeah.
which kind of like hits across here. I do like if I move, I don't know why I'm doing it. I feel like Terry Crews. I'm like trying to move.
I love it.
But yeah, if I like tense my muscles, it's like, oh, that's a bit tender. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't know how much protection I'd have with chest prep, you know, but it's not a massive goal for me to improve my chest.
Yeah, makes sense. Are you going to stay in wellness? Are you going to compete again? Like, what's your plans?
I'm thinking of moving over to WPD.
Nice. Thought so. Good
Yeah.
choice.
I mean, I've obviously got the genetics.
I was just going to rewind a bit more about the implant thing, because for us, for any of the larger muscular women out there who do have implants and do train chest, something that I have started to consider more with my chest training is not taking it to that failure point, and having had a conversation with Dan about it, and just because there is an increased risk of rupture if you are properly pushing a lot of weights with your chest, just the pressure build up in your thoracic cavity could potentially cause a rupture. You know, you're contracting that muscle. It's going to be like shaking up a Coke can, but in your boob. So it's just something to bear in mind. When I was programming one of my clients, she's bikini, so she's got implants and she doesn't need a lot of chest work. So we don't do it because the risk versus reward again is just not worth it. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I think now with a lot of categories, it's more weird to see women without implants than it is with. They just are just the thing in bodybuilding now. You see just a lot of the ladies having implants and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, people should be more aware of how to approach chest training with implants, because obviously it's a very important thing to be aware of. So I think it's good that we can talk about it and that let people know if they're thinking about getting implants, what it might do to their training, or just, you know, how they approach training in general, because of the
And
impact it
checking
might have.
yourself.
Yeah, and checking yourself.
It's not easy.
No, for sure. Like
when you're behind the muscles, it's a lot easier. Like I had a mammogram, and for anybody that's not had one, it is basically they clamp your whole boob in a machine and squeeze it within an inch. So I literally didn't have much breast tissue left anyway. The most undignified thing in the world, but yeah. And obviously, if you've got implants in the front, it would be a lot harder to do that. You can do it. And I think they would probably, if they were concerned, you'd have an MRI anyway. But that's definitely something you need to consider.
For sure. For sure. But I think all of us at some point are probably, or just the general population, you know, I probably don't check my chest nearly as enough as I should do. I know my missus does because her mum had breast cancer, so she's a little bit more aware, but like, you know, a lot of us are very guilty of not checking ourselves regularly. So it's very important that people should.
And your armpits. Like
it's really easy to do when you're doing your morning vacuums. I don't mean
nice.
hoovering. I just lie there and
walking around touching yourself with the Dyson.
Yeah. Kelly's hoovering again.
With a moustache drawn on with a Sharpie.
I want to break free.
I love
That's
it.
exactly what happened in lockdown. And I opened the door to the DPD guy and I walked up and I could see him like looking at me like, how do you explain you've drawn a moustache on for your own to cheer yourself up?
I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Cal.
So yeah, this year for me is obviously going to just be off season, just get back into it. I'm already like in a really good place. Went from like 3 days, 4 days, actually a lot quicker than I expected. And yeah, I think it can only get better from here, really. I think you get to a point where it can't get worse.
Yeah. I mean, regarding like mental resilience, like Kel, like I'm going to say this time and time again, you're probably one of the only people that I know have the mental resilience that you do. And to go through what you did and still come out the other side and be able to laugh about it is, I think, you know, a lot of young ladies who are going through very similar or thinking or having to go through like breast cancer or whatever should be aware that, you know, at the time it may be really fucking shit, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there are women who you can talk to about it. Do you know what I mean? So I think what you've achieved and how you've approached it is something that a lot of people should look up to. For sure.
This is why I shared it, Star. Like I can remember trawling Instagram, trying to find a bodybuilder that had like preventative mastectomy. I think I found a fitness pro in America that's had a mastectomy, who had breast cancer. And I was like, there's just nobody in the UK that I can look at and go, look, this is how long it took me to get back. And it's not the same as, like, you know, it's not the same as a boob job. You can't go back training after 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Like, even leg extensions, like pulling yourself, it like gripping, like it pulls your chest muscles. You may not realize, but when they rip them off, like, you know, like even flushing the toilet the first week with my drains, I was like, how does it take so much effort to press the toilet button?
It's amazing, isn't it? Because you've obviously got fascia within your body that's like a type of connective tissue, and it's amazing how something in your toe can hurt in your chest just by the way your body's connected. It's insane.
Oh, the human body is an amazing place. It's mad. It is mad.
Yeah, I'm grateful. Mine's got me to where I am. But yeah, that's why I share all the shit that I do, and I'm always open and honest. And I don't care if I've got 1 million followers or like 400 followers. If there's just that one woman that can open my story and see me having a breakdown the one day and being like, look, today I'm having a really shit day, but I promise myself that I'll cry today. Tomorrow I will try and do better. And that's literally what I do every day. And yeah, mate, it does get better. It really does. Just gotta keep showing up some way.
That's it, exactly. And do you think having like the people around you and like your cats, do you think that they made a massive impact on getting you through the...
Oh my God, yeah. Attached to my cat. Love him more than people. Like, I leave, right? I feel really bad sometimes. Like, I come home and I'm like, hey, baby, you okay? And Danny's like, yeah, I'm all right. And I'm like, I'm all right, yeah. I'm talking to the cat.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, I forgot you were here, mate. Are you all right? No, I actually, I mean, they're great. We both say the same things. Like, pets are tiny little therapy. Like, you'd be lost without them.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
genuinely would.
Yeah.
But I have to stop at little rubles.
Little rubles. It's like Connor, he's got Reggie, and you don't get
him
Reggie
basking in the sun today.
Little cute.
So cute.
Yeah, like you don't get Connor without Reggie, or Reggie without Connor. Like, you know, Connor's obviously gone through so much shit, like mental health and stuff, and Reggie is literally probably the only thing that's kept him on this planet.
Yeah,
just having that little dog makes his whole day that little bit more breathable, you know. And it's amazing what these little animals can do.
If they could talk, though, we'd all be fucked.
Mine can talk.
Be like, you'll never guess what she told me last night.
This bitch, Barbie tits over here.
I don't know what you mean. If pets could talk, Ruby does talk.
She snorts.
She does, yeah.
Oh, bless
Sound
her.
like Huxley Pig.
She's getting...
Do you remember Huxley Pig?
No, that must be a Welsh thing. Either that or you're just
really that's what pig is in Welsh. Mochyn.
Mochyn.
Oh, yeah. But no, thank you for sharing that, Cal. I think it's very important that we share things like that, because boobs aren't spoken about enough, to be honest.
Talk about them all the time.
They're amazing. They're a thing that should be spoken about.
Exactly. And the thing is, I did,
yeah.
like, in my recovery, there was a chance at one point that I might have had to have had them removed, and, you know, I would have had to have gone flat. And at first I was like, oh, do I want to go through, you know, that is a big thing to deal with. And then I'm just like, mate, what was the other option? Chemotherapy, cancer, living your life always worrying, or just like,
yeah, for sure,
get an amazing tattoo.
Exactly, that's it. Exactly. Like, my dad, he got diagnosed with bone cancer, like it must have been like three or 4 years ago, and he got diagnosed with myeloma, which is obviously an incurable cancer. But like, seeing him go through chemotherapy, like, we had days that, you know, me and my sister were his carers for a long time, because the chemotherapy that he had ended up him being like, he can walk now, but he lost use of his legs for a long time.
Yeah,
obviously the peripheral damage it can have chemotherapy having and stuff like that.
Massive neuropathy issues, like nerve damage.
Huge. Like... So he's got like a dropped foot now, so he can't walk. He can't feel the bottoms of his feet anymore, but he can walk well enough. But like, seeing the shit that he had to go through, when me and my sister would wake up and be like, today's the day. You know what I mean? Like we were literally sat there being like, how is he still alive at this point? And you think like, fucking hell, the cancer was probably, he'd probably feel way better with the
100%.
cancer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And I can understand why people that are incurable and end of life, I can understand why they decide to just stop treatment, because like, the quality of life and the, like what you see people going through, and that is like always a massive factor in you making these like incredibly tough decisions.
Sure.
But yeah, I think I would have still made the same, you know, if my mum hadn't had breast cancer, it would have been a decision anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird. So I was diagnosed at 38 in the same month that my grandmother died at the same age.
Coincidence. That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think?
So I always think things happen for a reason, and I think that it was meant to happen.
Literally took the words out of my mouth. I was literally gonna be like, "Do you think things happen for a reason?" And
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Do you think that, Ray?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dan, being a fabulous boyfriend that he is, do you think you were meant to be?
Well, I don't know if I want to big him up that much.
We both got two Dans. We have to call them Dan and Danny, or we just get confused.
The Dans.
The Dans.
The Dans. Oh,
the Dans.
But yes.
He's out getting his steps.
I thought he might have run away.
Yeah. Which is annoying because he did want to add to one of the questions that we had.
Yeah, I was literally...
You'll have to run after him, Mana.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to run. I could just walk quickly and I'd catch him pretty fast.
Is he that slow?
Yes.
Run after him like a news reporter.
I wouldn't even have to run. I'd just walk with purpose.
Mr. Bastic, I need to ask you a few questions.
The human flosser.
The human flosser, bless him. Well, we'll ask some questions that aren't the one I know he wanted to chime in on.
Cool.
So I got a classic, would you rather? So would you rather win the Olympia once or come second 5 times?
Oh, 5 times? 5 tracksuits?
To be fair. But if you win the Olympia, you've qualified for the rest of your life and you've got lifetime qualification.
I mean, it's something I think about all the time.
Yeah.
I'm this close.
That is a toughie. But then coming second, you still get a lot of prize money, don't you?
Yeah, it's true.
If you're a man.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's there it is then.
It's on my chips.
Sexism.
Just drinking my bottle that I didn't put through.
And it's great because you know the Arnold Classic, the Men's Open, they've got even more prize money.
I know. Yeah. We could go on for about this for hours, couldn't we?
Yeah, you could.
Bastards.
Actually, I had somebody at work the other day, right? He was saying how in 2023 there is nothing that a man can do that a woman can't do. And I was like, beg to differ, actually. A woman in 2023 could not exist with muscle without negative comments, jeers, criticism. Like a man can exist with muscle and not have the same critiques that we get.
Oh, for sure.
Just on that soapbox.
For sure. I remember you messaging me about that actually, Ray.
Yeah.
We had a good old voice note rant, didn't we?
We did.
Oh, I love
I called him on it and he was like, And I was...
Look at me, Phil.
Peter. It's Peter.
It's like, who's Phil? I used to call my tits Phil and Grant.
Love it.
Really? Aren't they even more Phil and Grant now?
Barbie and Cindy now.
Yeah. Barbie and Cindy have hair though. Have you got very hairy breasts now?
They are if you use the pig membrane.
Oh dear. But yeah, what was that?
I've just got like those shrunken heads pop into my head now. Oof. Don't know why. Fuck all sleep, remember.
I think I'd want to, I think I'd want to win the Olympia, to be fair. That is a lifetime goal.
Yeah, I think.
And I think it's a very real goal for you both.
Oh, stop it, Kelly. Oh, I knew, Romana. Come on. Oh, here's a question. Well, not a question, but Carly. She's doing the Alicante show. So we're going to have 2 UK girls at the show, me and her, which would be sick.
I'm doing what, the September Alicante?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, because I'm going to do the June Alicante if I can get the time off work.
Touche.
And we might see if funds will allow for Chicago. So my kind of plan is to do the figure show as I'm coming out of prep. So then that wouldn't work to do Alicante.
Oh yeah. What,
And
triathlete?
that would mean being on prep for over 9 months.
Oh fuck that.
Oh,
No, thanks.
that's a long time to be hungry.
This is a lovely angle. Look at this. Ooh.
Why am I leaning with you? It's like,
It doesn't happen when I smile.
It doesn't happen when I smile.
Still
Questions.
need more prep stuff.
Did you get any other questions on your? Well, my missus put "I like your butt" in it.
with or without the rubber crumb.
The fucking rubber crumb, Kelly. I swear to God. Like, she came back from football last night. We had an inspection today because obviously we rent and they inspect the flat.
I do not miss that.
Fucking hell, I swear to God. And she walked in and I was like, if you've got rubber crumb in and around any of your clothing, I'm
telling Kelly.
Yeah, I'm telling Kelly. She's fully invested in this relationship now.
My equivalent to rubber cum.
Wow.
What's rubber cum?
What's done spreading round the house?
Rubber cum, love it.
My equivalent
Does it
to
bounce?
rubber crumb is Muddy Labrador on brand new sofa when I came back on my break the other day. And I was like, why is there a wet Muddy Labrador on a brand new sofa that we haven't even had a week yet?
Oh, yes. Look at your new sofa.
Yeah. We need to get a proper cover. At the moment, it's got towels.
Stop the rubber cum.
No rubber cum. No rubber cum. As far as questions go, most of them were from one person who I think had an ulterior motive.
Oh yeah, let's do them.
Would you ever do muscle worship sessions? No. Would you ever create an OnlyFans account? No.
Yeah.
I think you can do like your feet, can't you?
See,
Yeah,
I bet you there's some weirdos out there that would find women with no nipples a turn on. I reckon
so.
I reckon I'm sat on on a fortune.
What would you call your OnlyFans? Like, what would you call that?
Obviously, Barbie.
Oh,
boobs.
actually, yeah, that's a stupid question.
Kelly Barbie tits.
Yeah, people would love that, wouldn't they? I'm sure there is a crowd for that, Cal.
There is literally so many weirdos out there.
I reckon they'd love it.
I just wouldn't have the time to invest in taking pictures of my tits. Although, to be fair, Mana could probably use all of the ones that I've sent her and make some money.
I'm making a mint.
To be fair, I listened to this podcast the other day and there was a guy that literally was like, fuck it, I'm just going to put pictures of my feet on OnlyFans, and he made $3,000 in a month or something just from pictures of his feet.
There's a call taker from my control room who apparently has resigned because she's making so much money on OnlyFans putting her head in yogurt.
Oh, is really?
Yeah.
Activia.
Muller.
I gotta have vegan yogurt, and the vegan yogurt from Lidl's actually tastes like you're eating Play-Doh. I kid you not.
Is it like rubber cum?
It's exactly like that. Probably the same to swallow.
Oh dear. Fucking hell. Someone did ask if we will be live streaming the WPD seminar.
Ooh.
At a charge.
Yeah. £50.
Subscribe.
I don't even. Oh, have I frozen? Oh my God.
Oh.
that's someone knocking.
So what you're witnessing here is I have frozen like that. Fucking brilliant.
You know who you look like? If you ever see Monsters Inc. Mike Wazowski.
Oh, now what am I doing?
I hang on.
Bro,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh man.
I actually think a bit of wheeze come out. I'm not gonna lie. Like, mate, Sarah, please tell me you've taken a picture of that face. Like,
Oh yeah, you know I have. I love how
it's like some sort of Hulk disco in Mana's screen.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
What if can you turn your camera off and then turn it back on without
Yeah,
stopping the
exactly.
video?
Everything
It's
is
giving
literally
me a
gone
headache.
on Mana's side of the screen. Oh, that is so funny.
Best
I
bit is
don't
that
know
when
what-
Mana talks, just in big size, and then she.
There we go.
Oh, look at that beautiful face.
Oh,
Oh, mate.
how young she looks in that
There we
picture.
go.
I am sweating. Oh,
Oh, I've frozen again.
oh,
Oh,
that's
mate,
better. The
Yeah,
first
that's
one,
not-
like,
Oh,
that did, honestly, that wrecked me.
Right.
Oh dear, that's
Oh, there we
I'm
go. Look at that.
sweating.
Look at that. All right. So I'm just
What
gonna
is
go
going
like
on?
this for a bit.
Mate,
Yeah.
I don't know what have you done? Oh,
knows.
you've broken me. So broken
Fuck
me.
knows. Should we do the
Yeah, so-
the last question and get Daniel in?
Or we could do, couldn't we? We won't be live streaming the seminar, will we?
I think that. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. I completely forgot about that conversation. That question. I don't know how it.
Oh my God,
work.
she's back.
Yeah,
Oh.
no. I'm just gonna keep popping in and
Ah.
out.
Yeah,
Oh.
probably not. Just
Oh.
because. Oh, what is up with your internet, Ro?
I don't know. I don't. It's since Dan's got back, so I'm not sure if
Oh.
he's streaming something. Dan, talk amongst yourselves for a minute.
Step away from the Wi-Fi.
Oh God.
I think it'd be quite hard for you to stream the seminar, wouldn't it? And
Yeah.
you know, and I think like genuinely, when Mana told me about it, I don't think you have to be WPD to go.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
I think like I massively support. And the weird thing is, like, although I do wellness, I probably know more like figure pros, more like the bigger women than I do wellness pros. And that's not because I don't respect the category.
Mm.
It's just I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's something that we need to make clear is like we're here for like the bigger lady categories. But
Like
like if
figure,
you
yeah.
wanna come, and if you want to come, like then you're more than welcome to. Just because the reason we said WPD and figure was primarily because we're going to be posing for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
But if you're like a wellness lady or someone that just wants a safe space, then you're more than welcome to come. We will just be doing primarily WPD and figure posing. That's all.
Although I would absolutely love you two to do wellness posing in heels.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think we'd look great.
can't wait.
It's going to be fucking insane.
Yeah.
I want to get a t-shirt made that just says like WD like mascot.
Oh yes,
Sit in the corner.
We'll get one for you with your fake nipples.
I keep attempting this, but
I
we'll
don't
see
know
how
what's
it
up
goes.
with them.
So the other question we got, I've lost it again now. Bear with. I'll
That
try
was
and
so
work.
that was so funny.
My cheeks hurt.
I'm literally sweating through my
Oh,
trousers.
mate, I'm sweating.
Oh, good, I've frozen again.
You look like a bobblehead.
Oh, I don't know what did you say to Dan White? Is he on the internet? Is he?
No, oh, look at that.
Oh,
I mean, this is great in itself.
like,
to be honest,
if people don't
People
laugh
are-
at this, like I
So, do we want the last serious question
yeah.
while my concentration can still cope with it?
Yeah,
To be
go.
fair, I do. Did you want to wait for Dan?
I don't know if he's interested now.
So I've got a couple that are quick ones that we can answer. So skincare tips for when using AAS, sorry. Ass.
Ass.
Fuck's sake. When using anabolics.
Skincare.
Yeah, so when I'm on cycle, I typically get a little bit more greasy, but I use tea tree. That's what I say to a lot of ladies that are running anabolics is use tea tree.
I can't say I've noticed anything.
Do you not?
I
Do you
think
not?
tea tree's just good for spots anyway.
Exactly.
I'll get a little bit of an outbreak when I come off, but it's
Yeah,
normally
that's
on my
what I
shoulders.
get. Yeah.
I'm just on my shoulders.
Yeah. So I think I don't really know
The
if there's
back knee.
the back, anything else
Dealt
that
me.
apart from actually going to a pharmacist and being like I have spots, like a natural remedy, I think in my opinion is tea tree oil or CBD. I started using CBD and it cleared my skin right up. Can't tell you why, it just did.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Another one is, should you take progress pictures relaxed or tensed? Which I think is totally down to what you're wanting to get out of it. So, like,
Yeah.
for me, it was stupid to send Tom relaxed photos because I don't relax on stage.
No.
So if your
same.
lifestyle, yeah, like if your lifestyle, then that's completely down to the coach's discretion, like whether they want it relaxed or tense. Like even if you just do like front, back, side to side relaxed, then that's absolutely fine. But I wouldn't ask one of my ladies to do a relaxed photo if she was going into WPD figure or whatever. I would ask them to do their poses.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
agree on that.
down.
Ruby,
Yeah. Thoughts on Psalms?
if you're gonna,
Psalms are a bit of a funny one. I would never recommend Psalms. The only Psalm I've used is Osterine, and that's the only Psalm I would recommend. But other than that, I don't really see much of a point with Psalms.
I mean,
no,
they're not tested, are they?
No,
No.
they're not tested.
Or regulated. And yeah, I know somebody that was taking them, and
Ruby,
I
stop
think she
it.
had worse side effects than taking like
Ruby,
high doses of Anavar, to be
All right.
honest.
Exactly. I think there's, like you said, because they're not tested or like controlled, there's probably more of a risk of what's going
What's
in them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, I don't really have a thought on Psalms. And another one is, should coaches be telling clients where to buy their PEDs?
Yes.
I think if there's a quality source and you know that the stuff is good, I would recommend them go to a certain lab.
Yeah,
sure.
I think it's a recommendation, not a tell.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't have to go to that lab, but it's recommended. But
I
yeah,
think really, in a way, I suppose as a coach, that is a duty
Ruby,
of care,
for sure.
because you could just say like, oh, good, I think we suggest you take this, and you might think, oh, like, where do I get that from?
Yeah.
And then you're asking like some random person in the gym, and like you don't know where that's come from.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think like you said, Cal, like duty of care, you should know if you're someone who knows a good brand or a good source, then you should always give it to your clients just for duty of care.
Well, it's just recommendation, isn't it? You're there to recommend things to people. So
Yeah.
For sure. Do you want to do your question then, Ray?
I was just gonna add to that. So
Oh, Dan missed you freezing earlier.
Oh, Dan, it was so funny.
I'll explain later.
Okay. I was going to say, most of my clients, so I do direct where we buy from. I'm quite in the know with what's good and what's off at the time, but we go with a consistent supplier, and then that way, if we're all using the same thing, we can cross correspond with what we're feeling on certain compounds. So then I have 50, 60 people all using the same gear. If I'm getting similar feedback on a certain compound, then I can go to the lab owner and explain what's going on.
I kind of got that. He might need to move closer.
Really quiet. I was so intense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So from what I did here.
So basically what he was saying is that if he utilizes the same supplier with his clients, if there are any issues with the batches, then you're all going to be experiencing the same symptoms. Likewise, if the batches are good.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
With vaccines.
You said the same.
Oh, my
So what was
internet's
that
going.
question, Ray, that you wanted to end on? Just because the internet is going.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? What are the most important things to consider when making a decision to go enhanced?
So that you've got basically every variable nailed for a consistent
Yeah,
amount of time, and that
that
then
you,
the last resort,
yeah, I
in
think
my
it's
opinion.
important to take into consideration how it may have long-term effects that you don't realize beforehand.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know Dan wanted to chime in on this. What did you think, Dan?
You'll have to come closer.
Where's your picture? Oh, okay. Well, uh, minding the obvious, obviously long-term health issues. If you're a female, risk of virilization, it's all good and well at the time when you're so hell-bent on a first place two bros fucking place in, which you paid £200 for the pleasure
Yeah,
for each class, that you're not thinking about the long-term consequences of what that really is doing. And it's almost like immediate gratification rather than actually thinking about your health. That's like the obvious one to me, but besides that, if you truly do or are going to go far in this sport, what is the first thing we fall in love with? And that's the training. Goes without
yeah.
saying. So, why is my picture?
Just carry on talking.
Okay.
Just carry on talking. Yeah.
So, something my dad told me when I was going to be on gear was because he was a steroid user himself when I was conceived, etc., etc. What you have to take into consideration is your training will never be the same again when you have spent the entirety of, say, 8, 10 years on gear and then come off. It's not going to be the same ever again. And if you're attached to that love of training, you've hit highs of highs, and then you're going to go lows of lows. You need to be
Yeah.
capable of being able to take that drop in identity after, which a lot of people have a problem with. So if you're mentally have an issue there, you're trying to hold on to something, even when you're not competing, and it's causing you quite evident health issues, mental health issues, and you're just holding on that for the sake of it, that's a real problem because you're gonna, early coughing and stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, to be fair.
Yeah.
Just thinking about not just now, but the whole long process of it all.
And I think it's also the flip side of that is important to consider how far into the journey of training you are.
Yeah.
I had a client ask me about when do we start the enhancements. I sent him his plan on Sunday and he asked me that 2 days later when he's only training 3 days a week currently, having not trained for a good couple of years. So the answer is, well, not for quite a while.
Yeah.
And in
Not for
actual fact, the next day he then said, "Oh, I don't think I'm cut out for this bodybuilding malarkey."
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's the thing, and that's what's wrong with the industry is a lot of people think that we all just pop drugs and that's it. Whereas like a lot of us have been training for years and
And
years.
obviously, as
consistently.
WPD, we're taking all of the gear.
Oh, we take
Everything.
so much gear. Yeah, everything, you know?
I take more gear than
It
Dan.
sounds like he's in a box.
Yeah.
He does. What did you say?
I said, I take more gear than Dan.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
Dan's basically a female. But yeah, it's mad. It is mad. Like a lot of people just need to realize that you need to really nail the variables for like years and years before thinking, okay, like I'm ready to take this step. And then you've got to think about, are you, like I started using PEDs because I knew after years of obviously training and that it was my next step in the journey to being on the Olympia stage. Like, and I'm not saying people can't achieve amazing things naturally. I'm just saying that the goal that I have in mind requires me to do them. And like, that's just how I think it is. I think this is a necessary part of my journey to utilize PEDs, but obviously utilize them safely and have, the tools around me to ensure that I do it safely.
And just do your research.
Yeah.
For me, like I've had people say to me, "Oh, you should try growth. You should, like, you know, be really good for you. And I was like, well, actually, like, growth hormone is known to have progression in breast cancer.
Yeah.
So I'm giving my shit dormant spinach,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Popeye. You know?
No, the opposite.
To move things. Yeah.
It's and I'm just like, and they're like, oh, you know, when you, like, you know, you can do this and do that. And I was like, you really have to think of the long term. Like, I'm 40. Am I, you know, going to turn pro? Is that in my future? Probably not. Would I want to risk pushing myself to add to my chances of cancer that I've already got chances of? Like, I think you really have to consider your individual health.
For sure.
And the thing is, genetics isn't something that's going to show up on your average blood test.
No.
And, you know, I would like people to, if they listen to this, to just have a sit down and maybe look into their family history.
Yeah.
And consider whether it's something, because I'm telling you, the GPs won't suggest it.
No.
I can't imagine they do.
You got to advocate for yourself, mate. You won't get anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Couldn't agree more.
Oh, she's
But,
back.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thoughts. Oh, she's gone again. And she's back again. Oh, she's gone again. And she's back.
Perhaps we should just freeze.
Yeah, I was getting yeah, we're all frozen.
You can't actually tell.
Right, I think we should probably call it there before your internet explodes.
Yeah,
Thank
and my
you.
laptop's about
Thank
to
you so
die, and
much.
my brain is leaking out my ears.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. That's okay. Well, this was an interesting podcast filled with laughs.
Which is
I hope
what we
people-
want.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
we need, more laughter.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kelly, for your time.
You're welcome.
It's been really lush having you on. Well, I'm sure we'll have you on more, to be honest, because you're just so nice
I'm
to
a
talk.
child.
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly, mate. But as usual, team, like, share, subscribe the shit out of the WPD podcast. The new Instagram page is now live, so you'll see us all sharing that as well. Keep in your calendars 25th of March, because that's when our seminar will go live. Obviously, more information will be available as we get closer. But yeah, exciting times ahead, lots planned. Hopefully we'll get more guests on. We're still in the process of sorting stuff out. It's a shame that all the girls or the ladies that we want on are overseas, so
Bailey.
time. I messaged her and
I
she
might
just
start
didn't
trolling her.
do it. I would just send her your boob pictures, but like,
I love
do
her.
it. She's amazing, isn't she? Amazing. But yes, this will be up probably Friday. I'm gonna go with
Whenever I
Friday.
get round to Dropboxing it to you, which is the full down factor.
Whenever it'll be up
With your
whenever.
internet.
Yeah,
4 weeks Friday.
a few days. Yeah.
Oh
dear. But yeah, thanks for
same.
like, share, subscribe, comment, give us a follow, and we'll catch you all later. See you later.
See
Bye.
y'all.
Laters.